Okay.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of the How'd I Get Here podcast, the podcast for positivity, progression, and finding your own path. Is your co-host, Mr. Brown Broken Guapo, 10 toes down, big head up. We here in a new studio. We about to make it in 2025. What up?
I like it. Picasso.
Yeah. Wow.
First lady.
Both of them on their phones, not even paying me attention.
What you mean? I'm looking right at her.
I just saw something crazy on my phone pop up. Wow, that's crazy.
Damn.
Hey, y'all. It's Tuesday. Y'all know where I'm at.
No, they don't.
The secret location.
Secret location.
Bop, 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 bop. To all my close friends, if you don't know.
What up?
That's it?
That's all I got.
Okay. What's going on? Yeah, it's your boy Spence. Yeah. This is one of those days.
Just one of them days.
Facts. I'm tired. I ain't gonna hold you.
I can tell.
This work commute is nuts.
Yeah, that's wild, bro.
Fitchburg. Fitchburg's like Waterbury. And it's got like this random ass college in the middle of it. It looked like they got some decent food. I saw some pizza off to the side. I'm like, I don't know if I trust that.
Not the pizza off to the side.
Yeah, it was like a segregated pizza spot, but
Segregation.
It's nice seeing y'all. Ash, I feel like I haven't seen you in so long.
That's unfortunate. I feel like I just saw you the other day.
Damn. No love, no love. Ash, do you miss us?
No.
I'm trying to know if you miss me when I'm not around.
I feel like I just saw you last week, no?
Probably. Oh, how was Tarika's little shindig?
It was cool.
I didn't get invited.
Me either.
I didn't plan it, so I didn't think I was surprised I haven't made the cut.
But it was cool?
Yeah, we went to Grace by Nia at Foxwood.
I did see that.
Yeah, there's live music there. Food's pretty good. Drinks is straight.
That was good.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you guys.
Haven't been to Foxwoods in a really long time.
Me either. Love that for you.
Yeah, I haven't been to the casino in a minute. I just got invited to Mohegan this past Saturday. I'm just like, oh, I'm not going.
Oh.
Like, I don't know.
Speaking of, well, not casinos, but Mohegan made me think of the CT Sun. Wasn't you just at a basketball game I saw on your story?
Oh, yeah. I went to, not Madison Square Garden. What's the other one?
Barclays.
Barclays, yeah. I went there to see the Knicks Nets. Yeah, it was with the Legacy Foundation. That was cool.
Y'all be going on trips.
Yeah, what? Like, they be going to Japan, Atlanta. Like, they be outside with it.
And a Nets game.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, if you get your grades right, like, they get rewarded. And I get paid to chaperone. It was cool, though. It was definitely cool.
Do you know if they ever do the like EF Ultimate Break trips?
I don't even know what that is. What is it?
Oh, so EF stands for like Education First. So that's how we got to do like my Belize trip, because my soror TT, shout out to you TT, love you girl. She was the ambassador when she was at the University of Rhode Island for grad school. So she helped like organize our trip. But they do like high school trips, middle school trips, all ages. So you should tell them to look into it.
Yeah.
And they do like really good discounts for like big groups.
Yeah.
And they like, you could plan literally from this year for like next year, the following year, whenever. But it could be good exposure for them.
No, that's a fact. I know because it's a nonprofit, we get a lot of state funding and like funding by the districts and shit.
You guys could totally probably do like a trip. And there's like educational aspects to the trip. Like you learn about the history and the culture of like where you're going. So we did when we went to Belize, like we learned about like the ancient like Aztec like Mayan culture and like how it's still very prevalent in Belize and how it's a Caribbean country but in Central America, that not a lot of people know that. They think it's just like a Central American country, but it's not.
Dope. Definitely gotta look into that.
Yeah, EF Ultimate Break. I think I might still have a promo code I could send you.
Are you guys superstitious?
Not really.
I wouldn't say I'm superstitious, but I will say that I don't believe in coincidences. I feel like everything happens for a reason. And my gut, she never wrong. So when people be like, "Oh, that's a coincidence," I'll be like,
No, so that's one of my tattoos. I got the word. I got the word coincidences crossed out because I don't believe in coincidences.
"Oh,
I like that.
didn't even know you had a tattoo of that."
Yeah, right here. Why aren't you superstitious?
For what? Actually, so
I think it just means like in a general sense.
Yeah, like whether it's sports, relationships, business, just more in general.
I don't. Is it superstitious if, like, you've been doing something consistently, and if it's working, you just like don't stop doing it? Like 1 year for Flag, we were like undefeated, and I think we were like 8 games in out of like a 10-game season, and we're just like. Niggas was just like, I haven't washed my jersey all session. Like, what?
That's superstitious.
Okay.
That's very superstitious and a little gross.
Like when I played soccer, I would always roll my right sock and fold my left sock. Superstition.
Oh, I guess then, yeah. I used to have like a lucky blazer for interviews that I felt like whenever I wore it, I got the interview. But I don't know. Then I like outgrew it. So I was like, well, there goes that look.
Is it more like you have faith in like where you at in like God in the universe or whatever, or is it just like nah, it is what it is?
I'm trying to think if I have any.
I
think I've learned to like just kind of trust the process and
Sorry, one of yours.
God in the universe.
We spoke about that on the podcast.
Oh, we did.
With Bernice, right?
No, way before that. I feel like we spoke about this at the store. I forgot what it was called.
Word.
That calf place or whatever.
Creative Caf or some shit.
No, it
Collective
wasn't.
Cafe.
We've been in a lot of places.
Yo, facts.
When we
The
just gonna get our
creative
own
space
studio?
or the calf by the XL Center.
The Caf.
Oh yeah, and then we saw that fight happen on Pratt Street.
Yeah, nigga got poked up. Yeah.
Got poked up, got a chair thrown at him, a table thrown at him. Shit was nuts.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, we was literally recording and like mid conversation.
like,
You're
Your
like,
face was just like, what is happening?
you're like, oh shit, that guy's getting fucked up. And we're just like, huh? And everyone just breaks their necks and turns. And I was like, oh my.
Who was our guest that day?
I don't think we had one.
Nah, we definitely had a guest.
I know Gene was there.
Gene June?
Yeah, Gene June was there.
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, I think it was your soccer friend.
Rashawn?
Yeah, like a tall Jamaican guy.
Yeah, I don't remember. Does my superstition question serve as the question of the day, or?
I mean, if we want to switch up roles.
Ooh.
Traded places.
Gon' get
it. Gon' get it.
Gon'
Get it. Get it. Gon' get it.
Gon'
Traded places.
You ever be on Instagram and wonder why you're in some people's close friends?
Yeah.
Like, why?
I don't think I'm on Instagram enough to question that. But if I was, then yes.
I ask more, how did I get here? The podcast, follow.
Oh
Share,
my gosh.
like, everything.
So I was watching The Ultimatum, the new season.
Don't even know what that means.
Me either. I know what it means. I didn't know it was a show.
Yeah, so there's a show called The Ultimatum, Marry or Move On Netflix. They're on season 3.
Sounds like the story of my life.
Marry or move on.
Yeah, so basically there's a set number of couples that come, and one person in the relationship, oh my gosh, will give the other person the ultimatum of like, if we don't get married, then like that's it. So they come to this show where other couples are going through the same scenario, and basically this is the catch. What they do is they swap partners. So they literally come to this show. Then the same day that they get there and stuff like that, they meet all the other couples, and they're like, okay, this is the last night that you are with your like original couple. Mm-hmm. And then the next day, everybody's broken up, and they start like co-mingling with everybody else, and they get a new pair up. So then whoever they decide to pick is now their new trial marriage partner, where like they'll live with them for 3 weeks, basically go and I guess the true intentions of the show is to really kind of take that new experience with a different person to figure out like what you like or don't like about your partner, or like what things you have to fix or don't fix. However, I feel like personally some people use this as like a hall pass excuse to like
private part.
Yeah, because there's so many people that end up like having sex with the other person.
Of course.
Are you
And
not
I'm just
supposed
like,
to?
it's not that you're not supposed to. I think like the gag of it all is that people in the old relationships literally, yeah, I need y'all to focus, please. Please. Is that they think like, oh my gosh, like, you know, we came here and we agreed that like, or they say they agreed that nothing was going to happen, but then they're all up in flames and like, oh my gosh, you kissed her, like I knew you guys like were going to get intimate, blah blah blah. But anyways, long story short, the one of the couples, the girl was literally talking about like, how'd I get here? And I was like,
I've always wanted to do a commercial of like, because if you really pay attention, How'd I Get Here is a lot of places.
Facts.
Movies, songs, commercials, TV. Like, I always wanted to just get clips of different places saying it's a lot of work and I don't have that bandwidth or capacity.
That's fair. Maybe it could be a group project.
Don't have the capacity.
But, yeah, so, you know, I think it's interesting. We're all
real suspicious.
Adults, you know, and we're at phases in our life, especially coming to the end. Sorry. Well, it was a joke that we're adults?
Nah.
Because you said come again.
Oh.
Don't mind me.
Shit.
You gotta play it out.
So, we're in a place in our life where it's like you got to reevaluate some things, especially going into a new year. And one thing I think as adults, but also as professionals, you have to reevaluate the people around you, right? And part of that is, you know, we had the conversation a while back about day ones and day twos, you know?
Wow.
A while back. But now
I was just thinking about that. I was like, oh, I should say that.
It raises the question about how and when do you know to make new friends or get rid of old friends as an adult?
What have you come up with?
For me, it's tough because the people who came with you, right, in a new phase of life, right, that new phase of life is going to require a different version of you, right? And everybody can't go to the top with you, but that doesn't mean you have to get rid of them as friends.
Yeah, my like initial thought was like, yeah, where someone's got to hold the ladder. I don't know if that's fucked up, but like
that is fucked up.
Is it? But I feel like
because why are you allowed to not sturdy enough that no one had to hold it?
Because it's safety precautions, you know. Like
they got ladders that have weighted bases.
But I was still
that would stabilize itself.
I'm a big nigga. I need somebody to hold my shit. Pause. But so that to me that was like a fucked up joke that came to mind. Like like not everyone's gonna make it to the top. But I mean, yeah, at my big 32 years of living, I see it every day. It's unfortunate, but you kind of just gotta leave. I don't like saying leave people where they're at, but meet people where they're at.
It's tough because. Like you said, I like that. Meet people where they're at better than leave people where they're at, because you could be going through something, right? And me as a friend, I could be like, Spencer, here's what I think you should do. Spencer, here's what I think you should do, right? I told Spencer 4 or 5 times. That does not mean that I give up on Spencer. I'm meeting you where you at. And maybe you need more time to learn that lesson or to go through that. But it doesn't mean if I truly genuinely love you, right, as a friend, and you guys know how I hold like the people close to me like dearly. If I truly genuinely love you, then I'm not gonna just leave you even though you keep messing up.
Right.
And that's just me. Sometimes people be like, bro, I'm tired of telling you, or you know what, I'm just gonna let you sink and love you from over here. But to me, if you're really a true friend, just because your person's going through something and they might be getting a little annoying, you don't leave them.
So I guess at what point, two-part question. I guess at what point does that bite you in the ass, and do you ever just part ways, or?
I think when does it bite you in the ass and part ways almost go hand in hand in the sense is when it starts to really affect you.
But I mean, like affect you in what way? Because everyone has a different capacity for bullshit. You know?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it's starting to get draining, right?
Yeah.
Like one of my homegirls, one of my best friends, whenever she's going through something and calls me or texts me to vent, the first thing she says is like, "Yo, do you have the capacity for this right now?"
That's real.
You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, no, like, hey, can I check on you later? Boom, 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 whatever, right? But
It's haunted.
But
No duppy for me, please.
that's one of those things that it's like, if it really starts to affect me mentally, affect the way I'm making decisions, affect, my day to day. Spencer is, and this is a hypothetical situation. This isn't real. But like, all right, Spencer is in the streets making bad decisions, right? And every time I get in the car with him.
Don't he do that now?
Whoa.
This is crazy.
Hypotheticals.
Hypothetical.
Okay.
Now we got a snitch in our midst.
Right?
I'm just saying, I feel like, is it a bad decision or you just like, I own up to it?
But okay, let's get more. Spencer's out here selling drugs. That is a very
Not happening. Yeah.
very hypothetical situation.
Okay.
Every time I get in the car with Spencer, now I am at risk because what if he gets pulled over?
Facts.
What if he gets robbed? You get what I'm saying? Now
Okay.
that's one of those things that is like, yo, Spencer.
I thought y'all talking about like, he go out and he drinks and he's
Hey.
That's not what I was talking about either. But
because he said, I'm gonna stop drinking. Then he go out and drink again.
What is happening? I'm just catching strays.
yeah.
It's so funny now that you brought that up. It's funny. Me and my LB were talking about this. I was like, all right, to my birthday.
I'm like, is this not public knowledge? Like you talk about it all the time.
People don't know me like that. I'm only gonna drink once a week till my birthday.
I mean, good for you, bro.
Yeah. Because today I was about to have a little beverage before the podcast. I was like, wait, nope.
I support you. Good. Good for you.
I've already said too much.
I might just drink at 12 a.m. Y'all ain't thinking big picture.
That's how I was like, I'm not believing shit that goes out of this man's mouth.
Wow.
Because you literally just said at 12 a.m. a drink.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
What do you mean? That's technically 2 days. If I'm going out on a Friday, I start drinking at 12, like that's Saturday. I got all day.
All right,
You see how you trying to find a loophole?
All right, back to the topic. I actually forgot it. Hose Bunny, I'm the shit. Oh yeah, I'm reminded. Cole, Jermaine.
Go ahead, Dr. Seuss.
That's crazy.
Jermaine?
Cole?
What song was that?
Back to the topic.
Oh, wow.
He's not a real fan.
Like, maybe not. That was a throwback.
But yeah, so that's like, that's when I decide. Like, if you're putting me in a position where like my life, my betterment, my whatever is well-being is at risk, all right, well, I might have to love you from over here, or we're old enough that, yo, Spencer, you ain't gotta live like that. You shouldn't be making those decisions, and if you are making those decisions, do them away from me. I feel like we're old enough that those mature conversations with your friends of, bro, I don't like XYZ, if that's what you're gonna do it, but do it for me. Should be had, and there's no ill intent, there's no bad feelings, there's nothing there. I feel like as adults we should be able to have those conversations.
Yeah, I guess it's just like this all comes down to boundaries, but yeah, I get it. I guess it's just easier said than done because I mean that's also like a drastic situation. Like at what point? I'm really trying to make an example not too close to home.
That's very hard,
right,
bro. It's the thing that makes me upset, right? Is like, especially on this platform, we joke and stuff, but I think we do a good job of like using our everyday lives as like content, right? But then it's like, oh, you said this, and it's like, bro, this is my truth.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm not trying to offend you. I'm not, but this is my truth. So it's like, can you really get mad for me saying this? Because if you are mad, maybe that's saying something about you.
So I guess let's just focus on the growth aspect, right? So say, I mean, you meet people at different stages, right? So like you even said your day one and day twos. So like your day one friend, y'all have progressed, 10, 20 years at this point, if this is like a childhood friend, and you've progressed because like you've been extremely focused, in soccer, business, school, a bunch of different things, right? And this person, they're kind of just like lackadaisical, kind of just like floating through the world and whatnot. Also a hypothetical, right? I'm just trying to like
paint a picture.
Yeah. At what point, because you might have been exhausting these thoughts like, hey man, like, what do you want to do with your life? Like, hey man, you ever thought about this? Hey, what about this? Like, you know, what makes you happy? Like, what drives you? And this person just may never know. And they might not be, they might not care to, you know? Like, at what point is it just like, all right, man, I still fuck with you, but like, you kind of just like, here, so like with no intention.
So I'll give you an example, and I don't even think this person would be mad about me using this, right? Drew, for example,
okay,
right? True love is wanting more for someone than they want for themselves, as Jermaine said. But you can't want something more for someone than they want it themselves. You get what I'm saying? So Drew, you guys all see the DTTM hoodies, hats, stuff
Don't
that I
talk
wear
to me.
right? Drew, I love his designs. I love his work, right? And I always, bro, anytime I wear one of those shirts, people are like, yo, where can I get one? Whether it's around Hartford, whether it's in New York, Florida, wherever.
I feel
Whenever
like
I
he
go,
owe me a shirt.
probably does. Whenever I go on a trip, I make sure to bring a shirt with me. Just, bro, look, you know what I mean? Now, Drew, I'm always like, bro, because he likes what he does. He makes good money, but I know that he has this dream of like fashion and stuff. So I always tell him like, bro, when are you going to get back on your designs? When are you going to get back to it? You know what I mean? And like part of it is, one, as a friend, like, bro, I want to see you do that. Right. I know you're good, but the other part of it is me. I'm going to remind you, but I'm going to keep doing the podcast. I'm going to keep with Bigger Than Goals. So that way when you see me taking off, it's either going to motivate you to come as well, or you're going to stay down here, and I did everything I could do for you.
Okay. All right. So let's pause right there in the hypothetical scenario. You're here. Let's say monetary and goal-wise. You're here. Drew is still here. There's only certain things that y'all gonna still be able to do together. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless you are now giving handouts.
Right.
Because at that point, this is no longer a friend. This is like a codependent. It's kind of like a...
And again, hypothetical.
Yeah. But like, so like at what point is it just like... Because eventually it's getting awkward for this person.
I love you from over here. I'm hoping, right? I'm hoping that as I started to ascend, those people are motivated, right? And even if I got to be, if we're both growing, right? Hey, bro, you not a handout, but if you start putting in your fashion stuff and you need a loan, right? If I see you putting in the work, or I've met someone across my journey.
Networking, yeah.
Oh shoot, you know what? Let me connect you, right?
You do these things and then he doesn't show up.
I ain't got nothing for you. You still my homie.
Yeah.
You know, around the holidays when I do cookouts, when stuff like that, I'm still gonna invite you. But when it comes to this over here, one of the most valuable lessons that I've learned, and Nell preaches this, right? You gotta separate professional from personal. And even within professional, right? You and I are professional friends. I've got to see you as a professional and a personal.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So one, you have to separate professional and personal. Don't shit where you eat. I learned that lesson the hard way, y'all. Now, you also, when you are in that professional setting, you have to remember that this person, as a professional, might not be the same person that they are personally. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So that's where it's one of those things that it's like, bro, in this business world, and again, just using Drew as an example, right? Okay, maybe this fashion thing isn't for you. You're cool with your job. You're cool with life. That's cool. Like, if you're happy, I'm happy. But if I'm up here when it comes to this other stuff, nah. Like, it's separate to me.
I struggle with that.
What do you mean?
I just feel like how you do anything is how you do everything. Just because there's like, I don't know, there's just certain character traits people have. Like, I have friends, I have friends who I know if it comes down to doing anything, once I like spark the interest, they're just gonna like go do it. Like, you know, like go run through a wall, figure out like the trials and tribulations, and then come back like, all right, this is what I came up with. Whereas like I also know a lot of people who just talk about shit. Feel me? So like I feel like that's where like I feel like the ascension of the doers and then the people who talk about shit, like it's just hard for me to picture a millionaire being actively cool consistently with like someone who's not, because eventually I just feel like you're just riding their coattails.
And what do you guys really have to talk about? And you're in two different...
Yeah, because then like I think it's gonna be hard for one person to think like the other isn't arrogant. I'm like, bro, I'm not arrogant. I go after what I want, you know? But again, this is like all hypothetical.
Right.
Ash, what do you think? You're quiet over there in the corner.
Yeah, I'm just listening to y'all kind of talk about your opinions on this. It's very interesting.
Talk about growth. There's a lot of references that I'm just like, damn, I'm trying to refrain from making them. So now I'm just like, I don't really know what to say.
Trying to find like the words that I want to use.
Take your time.
And on that note, while she thinks, you guys should take this moment to like, share, comment, and tell a friend about the How'd I Get Here podcast. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere you can find us, TikTok, Instagram. Yes. Now, back to your regular scheduled program.
And interact with us, hoes.
And interact with us.
I mean, are they going to if you're calling them hoes?
It's out of love. It's a term of endearment.
All
and
right.
speaking of deer, Christmas time is coming, so make sure you...
That is a crazy sound to make because it literally sounds like we deflated a balloon.
I can't even do it again. You know what's funny? I just saw a meme talking about female reindeer have antlers because men lose them in the winter. So they're like, of course, there's a bunch of females pulling Santa around. I was like, dang.
So yeah, what do you...
Yeah, that makes sense.
If I click live, am I gonna go live? 3, 2, 1. You are now live.
I was like, that's usually how it works.
Are you live from the podcast or from...
No, that's from the personal.
Oh,
should I go from the podcast?
No, do you, boo-boo?
Not to do you, boo-boo.
Yo.
That was kind of weird.
Very peculiar. Yeah, watch the terms you use. You know, the L community go crazy.
Okay, Ash, you were saying, this man is on a roll tonight.
Okay. I think like a lot of what you all were saying was interesting because I think a lot of other men have that similar like mentality of just kind of like, well, if I'm up here and like I kind of surpass the people that I'm above now, like, yeah, I'm going to try to help them out, but at the same time too, it's like, what are they doing for themselves? So I'm not going to like continue if I see like I kind of give them like you said, handout, or like some people feel like, oh, well, they're just like riding my coattail. But I think altogether, I think sometimes people also struggle with the fact of just kind of like the savior complex, and they feel like everybody has to kind of be saved in what they want to do, or like I have to now like go and like help everybody, which like, yeah, like I think you should try to help people, because I think at the end of the day, those same people that you was riding with, even if you surpass them, like they're still facets of you. Like they helped make you who you were today, because when you were down, where you were struggling, like basically when you wasn't shit, who was with you riding with you?
Who wasn't with me shooting in the gym?
Oh.
Rick Ross, please come on the show.
No. Sorry. My bad. He could.
Wow. So I think just like it's trying to like find that healthy balance of just like, yes, like it's good to try to help and educate people and give back, because I think that's what like the Black community lacks overall. I think a lot of us have this divide because so many people have gone through the trenches and they've elevated themselves, and then they just gatekeep information, and then they think like, well, you know, if I struggled and I got through it, like everybody else can too. And it's just like, yes, everybody else can, but sometimes people might need like additional resources and additional help to get there, that like if you're not willing to provide that, then like how are we supposed to all grow and be successful? But on the other hand too, like you said, there are some people who might just be content where they at, and like that's also okay too. So I think it's about trying not to feel like you always got to be like Captain Save-A-Ho and like try to bring everybody with you, because some people might be cool with where they're just at, and that's okay too. But I think also like life has a funny way of changing your circles for you just naturally because of your interests and like what you want to do or what you aspire to do, and kind of also breaking up the fact of like, I think we all have a moment in our lives like where we once were just sayers and now like we're doers. But I think we also go through that up and down like balance of sometimes like we do have a lot of things we would like to do, but we may not know like how to get there, like what to do to start it. So it's that initiative, like trying to find people to elevate yourself to say like, okay, I want to do this, but I may not know how to do it. So how can I do it? And trying to find people who are willing to help. But
you're referencing people who want to like better themselves.
Yes, but there's also sometimes I think that also looks different for everybody though. Like some people may want to actually do better, but they don't know how to, because like they're just used to doing certain things a certain way all the time, because unfortunately like whatever environment that they were around, like they have now become products of that environment. So they may want to do better, but just naturalistically, like as human beings, as creatures, like we are creatures of habit. So like they could want to do better, but they just know how to do something the whatever way that may not always be correct. It's the same way how a lot of people who end up in the jail systems, end up in the prison systems, a lot of them don't want to come back out because they don't know how to be like a normal person again, because they have been so conditioned in that environment that they're like, F all this, I'll just go back to where I know how to live. Because when they come back out in the society, like our society is not welcoming of them. They literally treat them as like whatever they were charged with, and not trying to make it a better situation for them to say like, yeah, like you did all that, and yeah, it wasn't the greatest choice you could have made, but how do we like now do better? And again, that is also a choice, like if they want to do better. So
yeah, I think what you said is there's a lot to unpack, partially in the sense of like you said, the people that want, right? And they just don't know how, right?
Yeah.
And it's one of those things of like, I can help you, right? And what is the saying? I could bring the horse to the water, but I can't make him drink it. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things that it's like, if I can't do it for you, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we stop being friends.
Right.
You know, and I think for me, that's the biggest thing. If you are content, if you are incapable, if whatever the case is, right? I'm not going to stop being your friend, right? But there is going to get to a point that it's like, listen, these resources have exhausted themselves. But even to that point, I think it was Spencer said this before, and even if you look at all of our separate friend circles, right, they're made up of very different people, but like-minded individuals.
Right.
In the sense that, like, you guys know my immediate circle of like 6-7 people. I think almost all of them are entrepreneurs in some facet of life. You know what I mean? But even to that, Drew is very different from Nels, very different from Elijah's, very different from you. You know what I mean? And each person always plays a role. You get what I'm saying? Not one more important than the other, but it's like no matter what you do in life, whether it's a podcast, whether it's cooking, whether it's, you know, friendship, you need a team around you. Whether it's a team of 3 people, 8 people, 5 people, 12 people, you're going to have a team and everybody is going to contribute something different, right? Like, if I need advice, I know I could go to this person. If I need a laugh, I'll go to this person. If I need a drink, I'll go to that person. You know what I mean? Everybody plays a different role. And I think that when building friend groups, kind of understanding and accepting what each person's role is kind of assists in that. I can't expect something out of Ash that, like, I know Ash can't give me. You know what I mean? I can't be like, damn, you know, I really needed someone to talk to, but know that Ash is not that person. And then I go to Ash. Now I'm mad at Ash because she didn't have the capacity or give me good advice or even the attention that I wanted when I should have probably went and talked to Spencer. You get what I'm trying to say? Or am I babbling?
I get it. So where do you find these people?
I almost said some shit. I almost said some shit.
Yo.
You know what?
You say not in Hartford?
I was gonna say not at work.
I mean, I
And
agree.
there it is again.
I agree. Well, at least my work environment.
Yeah, you know, even if you make friends at work, I
Professional.
yeah,
Yeah, like I'm very I don't go into work like expecting to make friends at all because I'm just like, this is where I work. Like the goal,
that's not what I'm here for.
Yeah, like the goal of this is to make money and to like basically in a very selfish way, like how do I elevate myself to the next best thing for myself, like that I need. However, I definitely have been surprised at like the friendships that I've made out of work with those same coworkers, where it's like, yeah, like we can kind of do some things like more personal, like, yeah, like we'll go out or like we'll hang out, like we'll have gatherings and stuff like that. But yeah, like, I don't know. I think it's weird. I feel like maybe this comes off as like judgy, but like I think it's very weird for people to go into work thinking like, I'm going to make friends at work. Because like, who cares?
I think that's a brown folk thing. I ain't gonna hold you.
What, that they don't make the friends?
Like, they don't go into work like looking to make friends with coworkers.
But I also
like, who cares?
I also don't think anyone goes into work thinking it. I think it just happens.
I don't know. I've met some people like they were just like, yeah, I'm kind of like bummed like I don't really have any friends at work. And I'm just like, but did you go, like, was that like your intention, or like were you actually coming to work to work?
I mean,
Like, you know what I mean?
having people you're cool with at work definitely makes the work environment.
See, but that's different.
Well, yeah, like
that's different.
You're not expecting friends, but like you still expect like personable, respectable, friendly people. So like you're not in a toxic work environment. Which like that's completely different than saying like I really thought like I was gonna have like some pals.
And it's one thing to be an associate versus like we're actually friends. Like you get what I'm trying to say?
Damn, I wonder if I'm the toxic work environment. I don't be talking to none of these folk. Like, they're like, yeah, what's going on? Chilling. How was your weekend? I didn't do much. Yo, so what about this deal? I'll talk to him when I uncover some stuff. What's up? But, like, people be, like, going into things, and I'm just like, bro, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't know. I think part of that is, you know, when you are at work, it is, like, you have to create the most comfortable and healthy environment for yourself. So if it is that, you know, short and simple and to the point, cool. If for some people it is building those relationships, you know what I mean? And like the job that I have now, I definitely appreciate some of or most of the relationships that I have, especially because like I don't get to see my mom all the time, you know? So there's like the secretary or this person. What?
I'm sorry. Keep going. I'm trying to relate where your mom came into play.
Well, I don't get to see my mom every day. So there's certain people that like, oh, hey, you're like my work mom. You know what I mean? Or like one of my coworkers.
I had a lady, work mom at my old job because she like always, because I was the youngest one there when I got into that job like fresh out of college, so like she always looked out for me, right? Like she would literally like bring me breakfast sometimes, like
what a mom does.
She would literally like sometimes stay late with me, like if I had to work, or she would like remind me about certain stuff that I was like a little bit behind on. She'd be like, hey, like you fell behind on this last week, like make sure you like stay on top of it this week. And like she only did that because like she empathized with me in a way, because like she remembered like when she was the youngest like person at her job and just trying to like start off fresh out of college. And like from that, like I appreciate her friendship, where like I still text her to this day, like for her birthday, like I check on like how her family's doing and like all that stuff. So like I understand like what you mean, like you don't come in with the expectation of that, but like sometimes you get more than like what you expected. And there's other times where you just, you know, like off rip, you're like, yeah, like I'm gonna keep my head down, just like in and out, you know, be pleasant, kind of. That's how I was at like my current job. I was just like, yeah, I don't expect to make no friends here, like I'm gonna just be real in and out. And it's funny because all the friendships that I have created and that I do appreciate them for like what they've become, all of them have all said to me, they're like, yeah, I didn't think you were gonna be friends with me, like we was real intimidated by you, like we didn't think you was gonna fuck with us. And I was like, yeah, good. I was like, that's where I want y'all, right there. Wait, unsure.
So what work relationship titles do y'all have? So like work mom, work what?
I had a work wife, but she left.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
I got auntie. Y'all met auntie at my birthday party.
She was great.
But that's,
I was like, I ain't meet her.
Yeah.
But that's like auntie, but like I really like auntie. Like she could be my aunt.
She was cool.
I've been trying to get her on the podcast for like a year, bro.
Oh, that's cool.
She doesn't
She don't like the camera.
Yeah. And she's
I feel like a lot of aunties, they like, I don't want that camera stuff.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? So it's like work mom, auntie. But then it's different because I also got Nell at work. You know what I mean? Who I've known for 20 years, you know? Right. And there's certain people at work that it's like, where I struggle, especially because I work with kids, right? Similar to what I said earlier. Nell said you always got to differentiate the person from the profession, right? You could be a great person, but a shitty professional, right?
And vice versa.
Or both. You just shitty at everything.
Right. But where I struggle,
got a couple of those.
Where I struggle is I don't even want to get to know you as a person if you are a shitty professional in our field, because you're there. You're supposed to be there for the kids. So if you're there as a shitty professional, one, I feel like that's kind of who you are as a person, and
how
two,
you do anything is how you do everything.
Exactly. And two, we here for the kids, and if you can't even be here for the kids, I don't even want to get to know you as a person.
I got a couple of those at my job now, and they try real hard to make conversation with me because they see like I'll be friendlier and like more conversational with other people. But I'm just like, yeah, because they do their job.
You know,
like, because I work with kids. I'm just like, and you have to do your job there. Like, you can't just show up thinking like you're just gonna show up and have a paycheck ready for you.
Right.
Like, you gotta put the work in because it matters. Like, if we don't do our job, then these kids are not being successful at life.
right?
So I'm just like, yeah, like, there's a few of them, like, I keep it real short and sweet. They be trying to compliment me on the same pair of shoes I wear every time. And I'm like, you told me that last week, but thank you. Like, but I'm like, yep, thanks. And I just keep it pushing because, like, yeah, I'm not going to entertain what you're already showing me because, yeah, like, if you're already showing me this, then I find it very hard to believe that like your personal side will be very, very different because it'll very much the same.
And I can't speak on it because if I said what I wanted to, HR will be up in here real quick.
Oops. Not the
I got a meeting tomorrow
with HR,
with my boss, my boss's boss, a coworker.
I did my
and
exit
HR.
interview today with HR.
Yeah.
You in trouble?
Nah, but like if HR wasn't there, I would be.
Oh, my bad.
I'll tell y'all off camera.
Yeah, I was like, I just had a meeting with HR too.
So, and we kind of like went off, but this is all good. But so, where do we find these?
Yeah, I was like, I too was gonna be like, so the original question, where they at though?
Yeah, right. Where do we find these people?
My first thing that comes to mind, and this. Especially at our age, I feel.
Oh, sorry.
It's not Maddie D's.
Facts. I feel like at our age,
is that even still like popping?
I think it's a town bar.
I had a great time there a couple weeks ago.
That's what I'm saying.
But I feel like
Great time.
I was like, you appreciate Maddie D's for like your own experience because like your experience is no one else's.
Maddie D's is K-bar for me.
That's what I'm saying. Like, your Maddie D's is like his K-bar. None of those are like any of mine because I feel like every bar is the same here.
The thing is, Maddie sucks.
You've been to one, you've been to them all.
Maddie sucks, but if there's somewhere that I could go sit.
I mean, I like them for karaoke.
Yeah, they're cool. But if I could sit there, be comfortable, hear some good music.
They do got nice wings.
And catch a vibe and have a couple drinks, I'm good. And I could go there with y'all. I could go there by myself. I could go there with Donnie. Whatever. You get what I'm saying? So that's why for me, and I know nothing's going to happen to me in there.
So do you feel like that with other places?
Facts.
Cause I was like, wait, are we feeling unsafe?
Nah, but
shit, you said your car out here for a couple hours.
K-bar normally doesn't really set the vibe for me.
Nah.
You know what I mean? One bar is starting to.
I don't know. I feel like it's unsafe.
Where?
One bar?
Yeah.
Why?
You gonna get beat by a 55-year-old?
Why is
no,
why is
but
one bar
like,
unsafe?
I just feel like my car will be unsafe.
Oh,
It's only my car.
yeah, that's just him.
I don't know. We got the same car.
We don't got the same track record with it. Like,
Thank goodness.
maybe because yours white.
But to answer your question about
That is ridiculous.
where do you find them, right?
Yeah.
I feel like at our
Profile on my
age,
car.
a lot of the stuff we do is goal oriented. Goal oriented.
Intentional with intentionality.
With intentionality, right? So look at Donnie, for example, right? I met Donnie playing soccer, and then he became my assistant coach. And from there,
I was trying real hard to remember. I was like, Don.
that's one of my dogs. You get what I'm saying?
He was there the night. He came in briefly, right? And he left before the shenanigans.
Yeah.
God, you know what's funny? I never knew his name.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. You were like, Donnie. I'm like, who was Donnie? But
I forget his name every time. And then I was like, that's what's like, Donnie,
when you see him, like,
Donnie.
I've seen you.
Yeah.
Then I was like, I remember he's like, okay, assistant coach. I was like, yes. Because then I went to your game. I saw him. So I was like, oh, that's Donnie.
And that's one of the things, like, you know, work or coaching, a goal brought us together. I had to get to know him, his character, because he was going to be my assistant. But two, all right, bro, you a solid dude. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I could see him being one of my groomsmen. You know what I mean? And it's just one of those like, nah, you the homie now. You know what I mean? That intentional, purpose brought us together. Us. Yes, we met at the gym. That intention behind that was our health.
Self-development.
Self-development. And then from there, the financial advisement. And then from there, let's do the podcast together.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So I think at our older age, there is intentionality behind new friendships. And that doesn't mean like you're shallow about it. Like, oh, what does Ash have to offer me? I could just like being around Ash. You get what I'm saying? Right. And that's intentional. But I think when you meet these new people, it's like, okay, what are you bringing to my life?
Right.
And
hopefully you're not taking anything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, because certain people you meet off bat and like, yo, you're fucking draining. Like I've talked to you for 5 minutes and I could go the rest of my life never doing it again.
That's fair.
But I get that. Word. Okay.
I think I've just always been selective about like who I keep around me. So like for me, all of that stuff that you talk about, I'm just like, that's my baseline.
Yeah.
Like I'm big on energy. Like, yeah. Even if we don't speak, but like I see or like hear how you interact, I'm just like, yeah, I'm okay. And yeah. How do you
guys feel about? And I gotta word this right, and maybe it'd be best if I just give it an example.
I was like, you could just say it. And we could just help you phrase it.
So,
because that's how you end up on me. You end up like me being recorded. You said what?
So I value Ash's opinion, right? How do I then go about, saying
it sucks?
Asking Ash's advice or asking Ash's opinion without those opinions becoming mine. Like how do you go without being influenced? Yeah, by your friends.
So I feel like that's a big topic, especially.
I feel like I struggle with that.
Well, so y'all could speak from like the male's perspective, but I think from like the galdem's perspective, I feel like I was about to say something real serious, and now I just can't. I just throw me away.
So the galdem, yep.
So I feel like in college, I witnessed and like experienced a lot of like whenever one of us like in a friend group were talking about a situationship or whatever form sub-tab of relationship or whatever we were calling it back then, we would not always disclose a lot of information, because if we've already had previous conversations about it and like we knew how the other person felt, we either one like didn't want it to come back up, because like if I already know you said you don't like homeboy and now that you see me fucking with him again, I don't want to hear all that. So I'm not going to disclose it to you. Like a lot of that. And even today, like a lot of women still do that. Like if they already know that they should not be messing with somebody, but yet they still do it anyway, and they don't tell their friends again that they're messing with that person, it's because they know they don't want to hear what they need to hear. And I feel like women, especially, like I think sometimes we don't always try to like disclose a lot of like what's happening in our relationships, because there are certain things like you truly just have to kind of figure it out on your own. And like you can kind of sometimes try to ask for advice in ways that won't kind of shape your understanding of how you're perceiving whatever's happening. And this is just for relationships, but it could also be like for friendships. It could be for really just anything. But I feel like especially when it comes to like relationships in particular, that just reminded me of like so many scenarios in college where it's just kind of like people would stop like saying certain things because like they didn't want that person's thoughts to be projected heavily on their thoughts if they either agreed or disagree. But then it also then became like, oh, well, like, I see, like, you not saying nothing no more. Like, what's happening? Like, now do you not want to share information with me? So I feel like it almost kind of has, like, almost, like, similar to, like, a double-edged sword or, like, a catch-22 where it feels like, yes, like, we can have conversation, but I think not being so influenced.
But I feel like that's more judgment. I'm not telling you because I don't want to be judged, not because I don't want to be influenced.
Well, it can be. I think it can mirror each other. Like, that judgment could feel like influence, but not necessarily like coming in from a judgmental point of view. But it could just feel like, you know what, like, that is a good point that they said. Maybe I should be thinking like this instead. Like, even if you weren't initially thinking like that, but now the thought has been brought into your mind, and if you're pondering on that thought, so okay, let's just like role play real quick.
I'll give you a situation.
Yep. Okay.
Right. My bad.
No.
I give you a situation. Y'all gonna love this one, right? Mm-hmm. My last relationship, right? It was very tough, right? Because I would vent about things, right?
To her?
No.
Okay, I know.
Vent.
Oh, I see.
And I'm pointing at you guys, but like to my friends,
yep.
right? Mm-hmm. I would vent, right? And it's hard for me to vent, right? Mm-hmm. And then now you guys are put in the position where, one, do I just listen or do I give him advice, right? Mm-hmm. But now it's like, oh yeah, nah, she's tripping or she's this or she's that, right? And one of my mistakes was like, one, yeah, she tripping, but that's still my lady, so there has to be respect, right? But two, yo, Jacob, I don't know, that's not cool. That's not normal. That's not okay, right? So now I'm stuck in this place of, you know, and that's good advice. It's not normal. It's not okay. But now, do I still want to be with this person? Like, should I still be here? Or this, you know, Spencer said this, now this is what I think. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yes. So, like, I think if we talked a bit more, we was going to land at the same place. Because that's literally, like, what I was trying to get at is that sometimes if that person influenced or takes on that thought, it may not actually truly be influenced. Maybe you just needed to hear it from somebody else because you could have been feeling that way, but you weren't sure if it was okay to feel that way. So for example,
that validation.
Yeah, like for example, when you realize certain things that happen that people have said, like, that's not okay, or like, that shouldn't happen. And then you're just like, you know what? That isn't okay. Or like, that really shouldn't happen. I think all of us somewhere deep down inside, like, we know when something's not okay.
Yeah.
But because we're in a situation where somebody where unfortunately, like, our feelings maybe have a higher stake in it, we allow certain things to be justified when they shouldn't be justified at all. The only justification is it shouldn't have happened, and therefore it's wrong. Versus as not saying like, oh, well, you know, they was mad, or like I was mad, or like,
I did this.
I said that, so then she retaliated back this, and then that's how we ended up in that situation from the beginning. And it's like, yes, like, it's okay to take accountability in your stake in that, but at the end of the day, like, everybody still has a choice to act and react to something that is going to be okay or not okay. Versus as like, I think kind of too with all of this, if someone's just not secure within themselves, they will always take like someone else's thought or point and be like, you know what, that is a good point, I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna use it, and then like kind of regurgitate it as their own. That's, I think we see more in people who have a hard time like thinking for themselves, where maybe like more influence will be played, versus as like someone who might be secure, but again, we all are human, so we trip up and have those self-doubting moments where like,
and you just need the validation.
You need the validation. But then on the flip side of like the friend either giving said advice and not being in the situation, seeking it out, whether to be influenced or not. I think for me, I've just learned, like, again, I'm only speaking on relationships because I feel like it happens very prevalently.
Right.
But like it can speak for like a lot of different situations. But speaking specifically for relationships, I have learned to separate my personal feelings from that said individual. Because there have been a lot of people that my friends have dated where I'm just like, I don't like that person. Like, I can't stand that person. However, I know like my friend likes that person and that's their person. So however, like they will come to me with certain stuff where like I have learned to still like hear them out and not cast judgment or try to influence them because of my own personal gain.
I like what you're saying.
However, I think like as humans, it is very easy to influence people if you're strongly feeling one-sided. It's the same way how like we get to then for friendships about regular topics of like the statement, we can agree to disagree. It's a very mature place to be in, to agree to disagree, because I think sometimes like certain people, if they feel like I have to have the last say, I have to have the last word, I have to be right, I have to be on top like of this situation to show you like, no, like I am right and you are wrong. When people feed into being so right all the time, or like having to make sure that their statements, their personalities, their opinions stand out over everyone else's, like that's showing a lot of insecurity. Because it's like we can be mature enough, whether in a relationship, whether as friends, just people in general, like we can agree on something. Even when we have different opinions, it doesn't mean that, like we say all the time, it doesn't mean everyone's wrong.
Right. It's
just like, I don't think the way Spencer thinks, the way you think. So like none of us will always come to the same exact statement of truth. But doesn't mean that like
two things can be true.
Yeah, at the same time. So it's just like I think it can get very murky of like the influence versus like judgment in those scenarios.
Yes. I agree. I
was like, my nigga looking around.
No, I was actively listening while also trying to hold on to my thoughts.
Hold on.
Jack.
Hey yo, fuck her, okay? Because there was enough room on that piece of door frame for both of them. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I also think a lot of times, I think personally, I mean, y'all know, I don't just take advice from anyone. Like you really have to be qualified. Like I really pride myself.
What are your qualifications, your certifications? What is on your resume?
Side note.
Yeah.
Remind me before you leave to show you my new Christmas sweater.
Ooh.
Is it an ugly Christmas sweater?
It is, but go ahead.
I need a new one.
Yeah, I think it's really important to keep the right counsel around you. To what you were saying, like asking the right people for the right advice, but I think oftentimes we ask amateurs for expert testimony. And a lot of times people don't actually have, whether they realize it or not, like they think they're helping you and doing you a service because they love you or they have feelings for you, but they also aren't qualified to give you the proper advice in those scenarios that they need. And like, I think a lot of times we find that loved ones can keep us in cages that they don't realize because they think they're doing what's best for you, but really they're doing what's best for what they think you want rather than what's actually best for you, whether that's tough love, whether that's real love, whether that's giving you the truth. So yeah, like everything y'all saying is essentially the same thing. It's just, I think oftentimes if you don't have certain people like aunties in your life, like people who like shit that's battle tested, like I don't take advice from people who their shit isn't battle tested. Whereas like, no, I've been in the trenches with this concept. I've learned how to tweak this concept a million different ways so that, you know, I come out on the end of this like with a W or like with a certain understanding. So like now I could teach it to someone a million different ways based on how they're going to be able to digest it. Like if your shit's not battle tested, I really don't care. Like it's a cool concept, but I can't hold on to that because
it's a theory. It's not
exactly
yeah.
So like it's a cool theory, and like I hope you get to the end of it. And when you do, I would love to hear it again. But until then, like it's kind of in one ear and out the other. And that's like to a fault, because sometimes again people want the best for you and they give you certain advice, and like I think I'm very quick in the moment.
What's that mean? But I don't know nothing.
Facts, like
this is but I don't know nothing.
Listen, yeah.
I love saying that. If I drop gems, I'm gonna be like, hey, but ain't nobody asked me, so I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
Right. I'm like, mind my black owned business.
Right. Take my little small self somewhere else.
I think my biggest thing is like what I think Ash hit it on the head is that a lot of the times I need
just a tip.
I need to hear hey yo. I just need that confirmation, right? Like I already know, but I need the confirmation. But even further than that, I struggle accepting it.
Right, because I think genuinely, like, I can picture, like, a few moments where I feel like we've had conversations where I've, like, looked back at it and I was just like, I didn't expect you to, like, have that conversation with me, because talking it over, like, I felt like, oh, like, it already sounded like you already have decided, or, like, you've known, like, what you wanted to do. So I'm just like, go ahead, do that.
It's
I'm gonna support you.
It's more the accepting,
right? But that's where it comes again to, like, I'm gonna use Spencer's word, the counsel, because that was fancy. Like having the proper counsel,
right?
To, like, you do need some people that I think, like, when you both have a good understanding, like, I could come to you and say something, and the other person's just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna support you, like, I'm gonna back you,
right?
Because, like, I trust your judgment and you trust mine. So, like, if I'm coming to you and tell you something, I'll be like, oh yeah, go do that shit. Like, I'm gonna be right there with you. Whereas there's gonna be some people where you may not feel as comfortable yet, because, again, kind of like to Spencer's point, you don't fully know if it's, like, been battle tested. So then you're just kind of like,
where this coming from?
You're like,
it sound good. Like, I saw it in a movie, so it's gotta work, right?
Hey, yo.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
let's go rob that bank.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, it's just kind of like one of those things where I think even too, when it comes to, like, even the conversations having with, like, loved ones and looking for them to give you advice, and, like, even learning too how to, like, break away from doing that all the time, because then you yourself realize, like, damn, like, I went to this person that, like, a parent, for example, like, I went to my parent to ask them for advice on this stuff, and, like, you know, you trust them, that's your parent, whatever, so, like, you try it their way, but then you realize, like, wow, like, that actually wasn't really good advice,
right?
Like,
facts.
That wasn't something I should have listened to. Like, no disrespect, love you dearly, but it's like, I could have not done that, and just, like, really maybe try to utilize a different avenue of going to someone else, or maybe just saying, like, hey, like, I just need you to, like, listen to this, to, like, hear me out, to kind of filter through what should be done or shouldn't be done. But I think that then goes back to building yourself up enough to understand, like, if you are unsure about a situation, like, recall on previous situations that you've been through, recall on times where, like, you've had to really trust yourself and trust your gut to say, like, you know what, like, let me take this leap of faith, but, like, with the trusted instinct that, like, I'm going to be equipped and prepared to, like, handle whatever is, like, gonna happen. And granted, like, I know we kind of, like, shifted a little bit, but I think, like, this comes back to making that decision of, like, how you choose your friends when you're an adult. This goes back to making the decisions for yourself as an adult, because, like, yes, they say, like, you know, you have, like, your day ones already, but then, you know, college is a very big milestone step in our lives, where, like, you then meet other people like, you meet people who have gone through similar trenches as you, growing up with similar, like, childhood backgrounds, that you're just like, you know what, like, these people are showing up more for me than, like, my day ones were. Or it's like, you realize too, sometimes they were just there for, like, whatever reason that they needed to be, to help elevate you, to then find those other day twos or to appreciate like the day ones that you do have, because you meet people in college too. We're just like, where are your friends? Like, you ain't got no like real
Where's
friends.
your counsel?
Right. Where's your counsel? Because I don't see one for you, and I think you might need one.
And that's the thing. You guys know I get to Buffalo once or twice a year. You know what I mean? And like, they all have kids now, and it's tough for them to get out here, and I get it. But that's like my safe space, my home, those are my dogs, bro. And that's nothing against anybody home, but like you said, college was...
Yeah, no, like, I think everyone has, like, those specific groups of people, or even if not from college, like, as they've embarked on the journey of life after college, or even if you didn't go to college, but, like, just embarking life in general, like, whatever your journey is, I think it's definitely really important to just check your counsel and make sure, like, are people still having the best interest for you? Because shit, Pop Smoke ain't check his counsel, and look what happened.
Facts.
And my thing is, because we about to
Pop Smoke.
wrap up, like, and I think this comment came, I think I said it 2 weeks ago, and Spencer was like, real friends don't give up on each other. Like, if we're really friends, and again,
so I'm so glad we got back to this, because I have this handy dandy life note that's, it's locked. So, but it's just like things I've taken in over the years, right? And like, since we've been talking about this,
I was like, when was it first created?
It doesn't say.
Yeah, every time he writes in it. It'll update like the last time he wrote it.
Yeah.
So
I see.
Yeah, it just says today's date. I was like, this could be.
You're like, that's not right.
Right. But basically, this dude Sherman Brown, he is a business consultant, motivational speaker.
I was like, Peabody Sherman?
Nah. But it's basically saying, like, you didn't leave them behind, you left them where they were comfortable. You know, so I mean, we've been saying the same thing, but you're not leaving them. It's just like, hey, listen, that's your comfort threshold. That's cool. But like, my new saying now in the gym, like, I need my daily dose of pain. You know what I'm saying? I need my daily deposit of pain. Check in.
The deposits.
Because you know, if you don't, I think the thing about working out, and like the thing I miss about Get Fit is like actually getting bodied. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you're
done with a day,
once you're at like a certain,
I was literally just talking to Janae about that yesterday.
Yeah, it's like once you got to like a certain physical like fitness, it's like I really bodied myself. Like, now I put in some fucking pain. Like, I put in some work today. So now, like, every time I'm in the gym with my boys, I'm just like, nah, fuck that. And he's like, man, I don't know about this next time. I'm like, bro, daily deposit of fucking pain.
Do that shit.
Because I mean, why not? You know? And to Ash's point, what you were saying before, like, don't be scared to battle test things yourself, because you said something and we like sped past it, but like, you said something, it was very interesting, because you said you ask a certain thing because you need to hear it, and then it's hard for you to accept it. So like, my initial question is like, well, why do you need to hear it if you already know it? And then if you already, then you hear it, like, then why is it hard to accept? Like, it just seems like quite the round, and not like just putting you on.
No. But no, because
that's fair, because I truly, like, it was a brain debate moment where I was like, I knew what you meant by that.
The heart and the mind are probably not agreeing on it.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, I know what's best for me.
Right.
I know what's good, but it's like, I still want it. You know?
It's like, do I go logical or do I go emotional?
And y'all know I'm emotional. So that's where, for me, it's like, I know this ain't no good for me. I know this ain't where I should be. I know this isn't what I should be doing.
Right.
But I still want to do it because it feeds that. It feeds that present emotion, that current feeling, and I'm stopping myself from really releasing and being over here with it.
The dopamine.
Yeah, like it's
want,
feeding me right now.
Yeah, because you want to do what like feels good in the moment. But sometimes like going with what feels good isn't actually good, and I've learned that the hard way.
Exactly.
Like I learned that the hard way real bad, and I feel like it shot my whole life in a different trajectory where it's like came out losing.
And the universe will not give you what you want until because you're gonna keep running in that circle. You're gonna keep feeding yourself that BS until, you know what, bro, I'm done. You know what I mean? So it's like my mind knows it, but my heart's like, but dude, it feels so good right now, you know. And that's why for me it's like, yo, I know it, I needed to hear it, now I need to accept it.
I think you got to be more stubborn with yourself. Like the same way you're stubborn with going to the gym, the same way you're stubborn with Sunday's a very relaxing day because I'm playing soccer. Like I think there's certain things that, like, I don't know, you're adding extra steps.
Setting boundaries.
Yeah, boundaries, but it's like, I think it's a balance between boundaries and accountability. And like, obviously I'm wanting to talk because like niggas talk about not drinking. Niggas been drinking like a fish. But like it's that bloop, bloop. It's that, you know, if you know what's best, like for me, I know I be on bullshit. Like I literally do strategic plot twists for character development. Like niggas know how this is going to end, but like we here, you know what I'm saying? Like it's character development. It's a life experience. Was it necessary? Could I have been doing something better with my time? For sure.
I was like, now we calling it character development.
It is. Everything's character development. But I just think like, and I'm really like, you brought it up, but I'm really like talking to myself right now. Like
but it's real and it's applicable.
Yeah,
you're like, I didn't think about what you just said and what I just said until I said it out loud.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And I know that, but it's like hearing it out loud is like, nah, dog. Like, you know, I know. And this is me like stopping myself, not trying to be like messy and stuff. My heart, I keep pointing to my mind. My mind and my heart, especially when it came to like certain things within the last 3 years, we're not connected. And part of it is also a pride and ego thing. I wasn't my best self in those instances, right? And I know there's certain things I could have done better, but I didn't do those things better because my mind knew, my nigga, you shouldn't be here.
Right.
Yeah.
I think though that's why it's also like, for me, I try to be stubborn with myself in terms of what I want to have the reflection of a friend in is what I need to do for myself as well. So like going back to like being more stubborn with yourself, like I'm very stubborn about like I will be no one's yes man. Like there's some times where I have friends where they've gone mad at me and like have stopped talking to me because I've just flat out tell them like I'm not gonna be your yes man. Like I know in this moment you want me to tell you yes,
go do this,
and I'm not gonna do it. But even so, it's just like I'm not gonna agree to certain things, and I'm just like, that's not the standard we supposed to be holding ourselves to. And I always tell people, I'm like, if you want a yes man, it's not me. So like we don't have to be friends. Like okay, like cool, but nah, because I don't want no yes man. Like I don't want somebody to tell me what they think I want to hear. Like no, like I will constantly want someone telling me what I need to hear, because I know like in the end it's pushing me to be a better version of myself, but it's also making sure that like that friendship or relationship is always set on the foundation of just like we are being fully like accountable of ourselves and of each other, and you can't do that with yes men.
And I think you just said something that we haven't hit on, the standards. Setting the standard of like, this is what I want for myself, but I'm holding you to the standard, holding me like, nah, we setting this right here, and this is where we sitting. Yeah,
because sometimes people feel like, oh, like, are my standards too high? Like, do I need to lower my standards? And like,
typically too low.
Right, if you feel like you have to lower your standards for friends, for like a person that you want to be in a relationship with, like with a job, with anything, like if you feel like you have to lower your standard, then like you yourself are not become part of the problem, because like those things should not lower your standards.
Yeah.
And you should not be compromising your standards either.
Facts.
I literally told my boy this at work today. I was like, I actively don't take this too serious because as soon as I do, y'all not gonna like me. Because a lot of the shit that, like, a lot of corporate life is bullshit. 80% of corporate life is bullshit and like reports and just like checking off a box. And there's like nothing serving you other than like a bunch of like hot words, hot phrases that they tell you. So I'm just like, bro, the second I start caring about this is smoke for everybody because I'm now holding everyone to the same standard I hold myself. But you know, with that, you need friends like that.
Shit, we running on an hour 20. We started late. Ash is hungry. I still gotta cook.
Yeah, I is hungry.
But yeah, bro, this was a great conversation.
Facts.
I love this. I cannot wait till niggas start paying us in 2025 for this.
That's a Fendi. Yeah, we gotta
unlock
the gate. You know what's funny? Yeah,
Rubik's Cube.
But that's a combo for afterwards. But definitely good. I mean, shit, I got some things I need to unpack myself.
We love unpacking.
Shit, not actual unpacking. I hate unpacking. Like an apartment,
unpacking
bro, it's
everything.
the worst. I'll unpack a thought before I unpack a fucking suitcase.
bro. It's been a week and a half, bro.
I'm telling you.
I mean, I've been at my apartment now for over a year and change, and there's still certain boxes that I moved in with that I just never. I looked at it, I was like, I know it's not getting unpacked, so I'm just leave you here because I know I'm not staying here long. So when I move again,
yeah, I ain't gonna hold you.
That's one less box.
I might have to run to like Ocean State or some shit and just like there's a bunch of bags of shit in that room. I'm just like, I'm gonna put them in that creepy ass basement.
Not the creepy ass basement.
Yo, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm a real nigga through and through. But going in that basement at night when no one's home, man, that'll have you think like start second guessing.
I'm just waiting to see someone run by it.
Bro, what? Because the thing too is what
I'm about to fuck with it like that.
Don't do it. I promise you, I come down there like with a weapon. But but the thing about it too is like even when you hit the light, it slightly blinds you. So I'm like, damn, that's my moment of vulnerability.
Hey, see, you be watching too much shit.
Nah, that's just how I don't even watch scary movies like that. I like a good thriller, but
Well, shit, let's wrap up, yo. I gotta go boo boo.
Wrap it up.
Excuse me.
First lady, Shivery not dead.
Is it?
Child.
It's not. I just said.
My 15 seconds of fame is don't lower your standards for anybody or anything.
I like
and
that.
yeah, I'm talking to you.
My 15 seconds is for y'all who have been honored with the privilege of being on people's council. Also understand like that's a very important responsibility within a friendship and a relationship. And also if you know that you don't have the right answer or you don't have the proper knowledge to give said counsel, like it's okay telling people that up front, like, hey, listen, I'll listen to you if you want to vent, but like I'm actually not the right person to talk to about this because I'm still trying to figure this out in my own life. I think that is a much healthier way to go about a lot of relationships than trying to give advice on a whim that could be detrimental to both parties.
Well, shoot. Thank you guys for being here and making this another great convo. My 15 seconds of fame is you can always find a distraction if you're looking for one. Don't be distracted by the noise. And with that being said, it's the best podcast in CT. We coming to take over. Merry Christmas. By the time you guys hear this, it'll have been before or maybe after Christmas. Happy holidays.
Make sure you don't get no
Hanukkah,
coal
all that
in your
good stuff.
stocking.
Love y'all. We out.
You got diamonds.
How'd I get here to the moon?
Not perspective.
That's a wrap.
I think some people gonna get cold. That's just me.
Well, my thing is if I got